So very few of us will ever have to be concerned about extraordinary demonic attacks. All of us, however, do need to be concerned how the devil attempts to attack people in the ordinary circumstances of our lives. That the devil uses a 4-stage plan of attack against all of us in our daily living. And all of the words they begin with the letter D. So the devil begins with deception. Deception leads to division. Division leads to diversion, and diversion leads to discouragement. Deception. The devil inverts reality. He turns things inside out and upside down. He wants to pull us off track and then proceeds to present his lie as a truth. He lies. This leads to the second plan of attack of the ordinary activity of the devil, namely division. So it begins with deception. We buy into the devil's lies, and we begin to think that his lies are the truth. But when that happens, we arrive at division. He desires to divide people from God, from each other, and even from their very selves. He does this by drawing us into a world of deceit and untruth. The devil's attempt at dividing us represents the counterpoint to Jesus' triumphal work of healing, reconciling, and unifying. Jesus always wants to bring things together. The devil always wants to make things fall apart. This brokenness leads to the third plan of attack of the ordinary activity of the devil, namely diversion. Deception leads to division. Division leads to diversion. So that the devil, he desires that we divert ourselves from the pathway of God. The devil's goal in diversion is to have us lose our focus and our sense of purpose and direction. And diversion can act in a very subtle way. We can be off the path of God and off that path for a very long time and not even realize it. Types of diversion. We become absorbed in a task. We fail to see the larger purpose and direction to which God is calling us. We are distracted. So after we have followed the ordinary activity of the devil through deception, division, and diversion, we arrive at the final stage, discouragement. Discouragement. So when we have bought into the lie that has left us broken, that has taken us off the path of God, we arrive at the moment of discouragement. Discouragement has to be the most dangerous threat to the spiritual life. It is evident in the tiredness that marks the faces of so many people. It manifests itself in the people we see with no affectivity on their faces. People walking down the street, in supermarkets, restaurants, even sitting in the pews on Sunday. In Dante's Divine Comedy, there's a sign that's hung above the entrance of hell, and you know what the sign says? "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." These words ring true for those who have been swept into the dark and deep hole of discouragement. Discouragement leads people to make decisions, to stop trying, to pull back, to do something else, or even just to come to a halt. These things are of such great interest to the devil because he knows that discouragement ultimately will derail us on our journey to God. In the Christian tradition, discouragement can be seen as acedia. It's a word that comes from the Greek word akadeo, which translates, "I don't care." So what should be our response to the ordinary activity of the devil? The gospel presents us with a remedy. It proposes that on our journey through life, we should expect struggles and disappointments, but that our fears be properly aligned. In other words, we need to fear God and not the devil. We constantly need to identify with Jesus Christ. In the Christian context, we cannot speak of evil or the devil apart from our reference to our faith in Jesus Christ. the one who has conquered the power of evil through his death and resurrection. It is our relationship with Christ that gives ultimate meaning to our existence. And without that relationship with Christ, we find ourselves completely adrift. So in my ministry, I encounter far more people who are dealing with the ordinary attacks of the devil than those who are dealing with the extraordinary attacks of the devil. So again, when we look at the cross, it should remind us that our ultimate identity is found in our relationship with Jesus Christ. God has a plan for each and every one of us. We need to figure out what it is, and we need to do it. But it's the devil in his ordinary attacks on the human person who does not want us to discover what God's plan for us in this great, wonderful gift of life that he has given to us.